Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you another live paper crafting class. This is a special class on a Saturday morning. Yes, I still have my cold. You can hear the congestion in my head. I don't understand it, but I went to the doctor a couple days ago and they said, it's fine, you're doing fine. Sometimes colds just take longer to disappear. So you'll have a little congestion when you hear my voice today. Sorry about that. Today I'm going to be sharing some thank you cards that I created using the Timeless Plaid designer paper, the Textured Notes stamp set, and a die from the Thankful Gardens die set. Now I chose these products because of my son's graduation card, his announcement card. So let me share that with you real quickly because I'm super proud of my kiddo. Oops, we gotta have to change that camera thing. There we go. Okay, so he's wearing plaid shirts. That's one of his things that he wears in a lot of his photos. In fact, I don't know, I just got my kids into plaid shirts for photo time because I think that they look nice and they're timeless, right? So, and then we have the brick background. We have the gate here behind him. And so it just reminded me a lot of this kind of paper. So I thought this would be perfect to make his graduation thank you cards with. Last year, Nick, my other son, graduated, and he had kind of a wood grain background on his invite. And so we used the, can't think of the name of it now, but country something. It has all the wood grains in it. So this time I thought, well, let's coordinate again, right? So I'm going to be using this stamp set called Textured Notes because I love leaves. You guys know that I love leaves. And we'll be using a leaf image and a couple sentiments from that. And then I, of course, needed some leaves on the cards. So we're going to be using this die. Now, when I do a mass production of cards, whether it's Christmas cards or thank you cards for graduation or whatever, I try to make the most of my product. So like I'll use my designer paper wisely. I'll figure out whether I'm using 12 by 12 or 6 by 6, and I trim it according to how I can make the most of the paper, not have a lot of waste, that sort of thing. And then I try not to use too much die cutting because die cutting takes a lot more time than punching. So you'll see how I did some paper saving techniques with my die cutting. I also like to give a little bit of bling or glitz or something shiny, right? And so oftentimes the embellishments raise your card up a little bit, right? And then you end up having to pay extra postage because you have these bumps all over your card. So I'm using the gold foil paper, and I'm also using some ribbon, and so that creates less bulk. And then I like to also give the illusion of multiple layers, but paper saving techniques. So I'm going to share all of those little tips and tricks that I did with this card. Now, this card does not have to just be a graduation thank you card. It can be for any kind of thank you, right? You could use it for anything, really. These are the finished cards right here. You can see they have a very they're masculine but feminine. I don't know. They're just kind of multi-gender, right? So they have a real a feel for anybody. Anybody would really enjoy getting a thank you card like this. There's what else did I want to say about it? I lost my track of what I was going to say. But you could use it for other than thank you cards, right? You could make this card into a birthday card, a happy retirement card, even a wedding card. So I mean, there's all kinds of sentiments you could use to put onto this card style. So I'm going to teach you how I did these, all those paper saving techniques and tips and tricks. Okay, let me first, Country Woods, thank you, Marcia. Let me first show you, because my Trisha is not here today. Marcia, you're going to step in, right? I'm going to show you the PDF that you will be able to take and grab off of my website. And the blog post is live right now. So if you're interested in grabbing this PDF now, you can go ahead and do that. I do that. I post it earlier at the same time on days where we're not drawing prize winners. I don't have Trisha with me today, but I do want to say that last week we had not last week, but a few days ago we had prize winners and I forgot to announce them. So I will be announcing them today based on what we had drawn from Wednesday. Anyways, back to this PDF. So this is something you can download and you can print off, or you can keep it in a file on your desktop so that you can refer back to it. It has photos of the cards. It has the name, the date, which my head is covering, measurements, and clickable links to the products. So all of these products here are the items that I use, including the adhesives, the tools like trimmers and snips and all of that. So pretty much you have everything you need here. Maybe not the stamp and mist and the grid paper and the blocks, but I try to list some of the basic tools on all of my PDFs. So we're going to go back to the desktop and we are going to do some creating, if that's okay with you. That's why you're here, right? So yay, thank you so much for joining. Okay, we're going to start with the trimmer. Yeah, I went to the doctor and he said it's higher up in the lungs. It's not pneumonia. Just let it ride out. But gosh, oh golly gee whiz, it's taking forever. If you are a beginning crafter, I do want you to know that this is a very doable card for you. The only big investment would be like a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for doing the leaves. But other than that, this is like easy to make, okay? So we're going to take our 8.5 by 11 basic black cardstock. Thank you, Penny. I'm glad that you appreciate those PDFs. I love doing them, and it's nice to have kind of a little reference, right? So I'm going to cut this in half at 5.5 inches. I've placed my paper in the trimmer so that it's flush up against the top. There's like an edge there to hold it up against. Now I can make 2 cards out of this. So if I was mass producing, which here's a tip I didn't share. If I was mass producing, which I would be with this card, I would probably put the score line into this paper first. So before I trim it, and I'll just pretend like I haven't trimmed it yet, I would score at 4 1/4. So I'd use my light blade and I'd press through them. Then I'd turn it and then I'd cut it in half. That way you'd get 2 card bases ready to go. And these card bases fit into our medium-sized envelopes. They hold the 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch size card. That's the size you get when you fold it in half. So now we're going to grab our white, our gold, and our plaid. Now our plaid paper is a 6 by 6 size designer paper. So I thought to myself, well, I'd like to get a couple out of each piece. So I first, well here, let me show them all to you first. You get 12 designs, 4 of each for 48 sheets, and they're double-sided. So one side is mostly plaid, as you can see, and I say mostly because not all of them are considered a true plaid, but let me show you. So you can see the back side as well. And you have like this checkerboard look on the back side of the other ones. So lots of pretty colors. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Lots of fun designs. And I'm going to go ahead and take this one here. And we'll just play with that one today. So I took my 6 by 6 paper and thought to myself, okay, if I'm going to do 2 cards from it, I want to cut it in half at 3 inches. By the way, my hair today that I'm wearing is the Dalgona 16 by Belle Tress in the color Rootbeer Float Blonde. And it's a wild one. I have to tame it somehow because I have these little guys on the side. They kind of wing out. But I wanted to be lighter colored today. So we're going to cut in half at 3 inches. And then I thought, well, it'd be nice to have a little bit of this on the inside too. So as I was designing my card, I thought, okay, I could go ahead and do the whole piece across there, but that's covering up a lot. So maybe I trim off, I don't know, a little accent piece here. So I'm going to trim off a 1/2 inch, and we'll put some on the inside. And that way we have less on the outside here, so more black space that will show off our leaves. I wanted to have it off-center. I like doing off-center things. And so I thought, well, my leaves could go over here, my sentiment, and then my plaid. So I have another piece ready to go for my second card. The only waste becomes this 1/2 inch on the bottom here. Because remember, it's 6 by 6 paper. So if we want it to go the full height of the card, it's 5.5 inches tall, we would be wasting this much. And you could keep that intact, make it all one long strip and do, long, I have them here. So you could take and use these long strips for some other project in the future because they're super fun. You could weave them or whatever. So I've got 2 cards from 1 sheet, which from a pack of 48 sheets would give me close to 100 thank you cards, right? Okay, now the white, I'm going to go ahead and trim that to 5.5 inches. And on the inside of my card, I believe my piece is 2 3/4 inches wide, which is the same width as this, because I wanted to have that same kind of width look on the inside. So this is 2.5, sorry. But when I add the extra layers under it, because I'm going to widen it out a bit, it's going to be a little bit wider. But we're going to make this one 2 3/4 inches. Okay. And that's going to go on the inside with that little strip on top. For the outside, I'm going to give the illusion that this has white underneath. So I'm going to cut a couple strips that are 1/2 inch. Instead of having a piece that is 2 and, what would that be? It would be 2 and, gosh, probably 2 3/4, or just close to 2 3/4. Instead of having a white piece that's 2 3/4, another one that size, I've only used up 1 inch of paper, and I'll show you how I create that illusion, okay? So that will go underneath this. And then I have some gold foil. The gold foil comes in 12 by 12, but because there's no direction to it, you can go ahead and cut 5.5 inch in this direction, cut all your little strips, do another 5.5 inch, cut all your little strips, and then you have another inch at the bottom that you could use to make more 1/2 inch wide strips. So out of 1 sheet you could get, gosh, how many would that be? 24, 48, 50, 60, 70, no, 50, 52, 52. You could get 52 little gold strips out of this. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, so we'll cut that at 1/2 inch, and we're going to have that create an illusion also. And then you get 2 sheets of 12 by 12 gold foil in a pack. So you could use your other pack for doing this little accent piece. So I've got a scrap here that I'm going to show you how to create an accent piece with. And we've also got some scrap white, which I would probably use a smaller piece, but it doesn't matter because we're just showing off the tips and tricks today. And then I've got another scrap that is Granny Apple Green. And that's my favorite green for leaves because it's spring, it's bright and cheerful. So let us start assembling. Oh, one more consumable is the ribbon. So we have ribbon, and that comes in a roll that is, I believe, 10 yards. And it's really pretty ribbon, and it creates that sparkle. This is called our gold striped mesh ribbon, and it's 3/8 of an inch. I want to say it's maybe it's a 1/2 inch. It's a 1/2 inch. Well, maybe it's 3/8 and the 1 centimeter. It's 1 centimeter. There we go. They call it 3/8 of an inch, although it's a little bit wider than 3/8 of an inch. But super pretty ribbon. Now I could take and use like a whole piece of this and wrap it around the card, right? And then I'd have 14, 16 inches. But instead, I decided to cut 2 small pieces that are about 1.5 inches each. So 3 inches per card. And I'll show you how I use that. So let's do our scrap pieces here. I'm going to pull aside these because these are already pre-cut and ready to go. Stick them into my black base for just a minute. Let's prepare these pieces. Let's bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now again, if you're a beginning crafter, this is the one thing that you would need to invest in if you wanted to replicate the card completely. It's a pricier item, but it's well worth it once you get it. So we're going to go ahead and you have other things to invest in too, but this is the priciest, I guess. We have platform number 1, die adapter number 2. We have a scratchy cutting plate number 3. And then we have our paper. And then we have our die. And again, these dies go with a stamp set called Thankful Garden. And I'm going to use this piece. And we'll lay that on our scrap paper. And if I was super wise, I would be trying to make the most of all my scraps too. So if this was a little bit longer, I could go ahead and, rotate and get another piece out over here. So cut your scraps wisely when you're preparing your die cutting too. We'll lay our non-scratchy plate on top, press it all together. I have my cutting part of my die downwards, so it's going to press into the paper. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and roll that. And what do we get? Gorgeous, right? Now there are leaves on the inside of the card, but I'm going to show you how I got those done by just die cutting one set of leaves. I was going to try to see if I could tap it out, but we'll just go ahead and pull it out with our... We'll poke through those holes. They give you those holes for a reason, Rachel. So, and they also give you a little brush to help kind of, well, you can buy it separately, but it helps to get all these little pieces out. But I thought this would just come right out. There we go. So there is our beautiful set of granny apple green leaves. Let's put these off to the side. That piece is done. For our punching, we're using the Heartfelt Hexagon Punch. It is a punch shape that is in kind of a squatty hexagon look. And we're going to rotate it and make it taller. So I'm going to grab my stamp set called Textured Notes. And the 3 stamps that we're going to use out of here are the leaves, the thank you, and I should say the smaller leaves because there's another set of leaves, and then the appreciation sentiment. So we'll pull those all out, and I have to grab some blocks. 1, 2, 3. We'll mount our leaves on here. I'll mount our sentiment and our thank you. And I like to mount them so that they're not lined up with the edges of the blocks, because that way I'm not relying on the edges of the blocks when I stamp. So we're going to go ahead and ink up this thank you with our Tuxedo Memento black ink. And you would, of course, use a smaller scrap for this. So you're going to stamp your thank you about 1.5 inches from the bottom, and I probably should have done a little further out. Oh no, I did it great. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and keep that thank you on the bottom half of the hexagon. Thank you for sharing the video. That was so sweet of you to let me know that too, Jean. And then we also need, or is it Jeanne? It might be Jeanne. And then we're going to go ahead and punch just a portion of this. So this is another paper saving technique. So instead of doing the whole hexagon, which I couldn't get out of this scrap anyway, I'm going to go ahead and punch partway in so that I have a little bit on the top and bottom edges. I'm calling those the top and bottom because, again, we're going to have our hexagon go this way. And I could get, gosh, if I was really wise, I could get another one right across from it, but I can get one right next to it, right? And I could go up a whole entire strip and get a whole bunch of these. If I had like 1 inch wide strip by 12, I could just keep going back and forth and get a couple of these. So this will be for one card, this is for another. So I'll set that over there. So another way to use your papers wisely. We'll keep that off to the side. And we're going to need to do a little bit more stamping. Let's do our stamping, actually. Pull these back in. This is Lemon Lime Twist. I chose to use Lemon Lime Twist on this for the stamping part instead of Granny Apple Green, because Granny Apple Green I would have had to stamp off to get a lighter look. And the Lemon Lime Twist still works really well with the Granny Apple Green cardstock. They're like very compatible. But this has more of a brighter glow to it. So we're going to use Lemon Lime Twist. This way we don't have to stamp off. We have one less step to do when we're mass producing. So we're inking this up, and we're going to go ahead and just stamp some leaves coming down from the upper right. See that? So that fills in that space. So now we've done 2 stamps. And then the 3rd stamp is done with the black, and that's going to be for our inner layer. But before we actually do that inner layer, I do want to adhere this piece, because if I adhere it after, then our sentiment might be a little off. So I'm going to go ahead and use, oh gosh, one of my favorite adhesives. I don't know, which should I choose from? I just want to point out that the Country Hive has these wonderful caddies. I love these adhesive caddies, and just wanted to share that with you today. I haven't shared that one in a long time. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to put my seal adhesive down the length of this. Now, if you're saving out adhesive, then I would use multi-purpose liquid glue. The multi-purpose liquid glue for making 100 or more cards will go a lot further than using your seal adhesive. Oh, and here's where you want to do some comparing, because the inside of my card will kind of like line up and flow with it. I mean, you won't be able to tell too much when you're, opening it front, back, that kind of thing. But I just thought, might as well let the flow of the paper continue, right? So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the top of my card. This is going to be top, this is going to be bottom, top and bottom, just to keep the flow going. I'm going to add it to my white layer here so that I have a little less than 1/8 of an inch, a little more than 1/16 of an inch, about that much white showing. And now I can go ahead and stamp my sentiment. Now this is a cling mount stamp, so because of that, you can't see through it. So it makes it a little more challenging. But if you mount your labels straight, it helps. Now I'm going to go ahead and test this, and I could use like a stamp positioner too, and just position so that when I'm mass producing, I'm stamping in the same spot every time. Stampin' Up! Does not carry a stamp positioner anymore, but you could do that. Now I can see a little bit of a tilt going down. So when I stamp this on here, I'm still going to consider going straight, and then I'm going to tilt up just slightly to the right. And now it looks perfect. But yeah, if you're going to do 100 of these, either get in the habit of really knowing where your stamp is going to stamp, or use a stamp positioner. Next, so we're done with all the stamping. I'm going to put all that aside. We have our layers, and now we can start assembling. So this piece is going to be added to this piece, and it's going to give the illusion that we have a whole another hexagon under there, but we don't. So I'm just going to add that so that we see about the same amount of gold as we had white on this side. Okay, so it's a little less than 1/8 of an inch, a little more than 1/16. And see, now you have the illusion that there's a full layer under there, and it's just peeking out to the side. For this piece, we're going to trim. All right, so I know that I'm going to be covering up these leaves down here. So these leaves, I'm going to come in and I'm going to snip and snip. And now I have full looking leaves because of the way I cut it. I'm going to trim right through the middle of the stem so that I'm not separating any leaves from the clusters, right? So I still have leaves on this side and leaves on this side. These are connected. And that little wonky space up there is going to get covered by my sentiment label. So here we go. This is going to go on the inside of our card. We can go ahead and add that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, or glue, which will go a lot further than your seal adhesive. We're going to add that about 1/8 of an inch. I was looking at my other card here. About 1/8 of an inch from the outside edge. And you can see that I have, oopsie, you can see that I have a little bit of excess here on the bottom. See how that white is coming out of there? So that's when I would grab a long bladed scissors and just do a little cleanup. Or if you're mass producing, just center it so you have about the same amount of excess going out the top and the bottom, and no one will even know, okay? It was so minor that it was very, very barely visible. Now we're going to take this one, and this is my top, this is my bottom. When I add these strips, I'm giving the illusion that I have a full layer underneath. So I'm going to go ahead. Do you like that? I did coordinate, Penny. Way to be observant. So I was going to wear plaid, and I'm like, well, I could, but I could also coordinate with the green. I love green. So I've put a strip of seal down each side. Now this is where the seal might come in a little bit more handy, especially when you're using the gold foil. But you have, well, I mean, I suppose you could use glue, but it's a little less messy if you're adding the strip to each side and you don't have to worry about glue getting on your fingers. So see how I now have the illusion that I have a much wider layer of white under there. And then we're going to add this piece, and that's going to peek off to the right. So again, just double checking. And it won't really matter because people aren't going to see the plaid on the outside and the inside at the same time. So it doesn't really matter if you have them lined up or not, but for some reason it's just my A-type personality that wants to have that sync up. So now you can see that that layer is about the same width as the inside layer because of all the little edges that we put on there. We can go ahead and add glue or seal or whatever kind of adhesive you want to this layer, and we're going to add that so that it is off to the side the other direction about the same distance away. I knew that cough was coming. I was trying to suppress it. It's going away. It's going away. I think I can, right? All right, so now I'm going to trim that up. Now, another tip when you're mass producing thank you cards, Christmas cards, anything where you're mass producing, is don't do one card fully all at a time. I would take and do all your die cutting. I would do all your stamping and punching. I would do, you know what I mean? Like, do everything in steps. 3:30 seconds. Marcia, I love it. Yes, that is technically the correct measurement on that. I love it. Okay, so for the front of the card, you are so fun. Oh my goodness. Okay, so for the front of the card, this sentiment is going to go down here, and I could add it with dimensionals, but that will add bulk to my card. And I want my card to be able to be mailable with a forever stamp because that's going to make it more affordable if, again, I'm sending out 100 cards or whatever. This piece is now going to go under here. Okay, so you can see how I'm covering that up. So I'm going to take and add seal adhesive to the back side of this. I'm just on that corner. See how I did the corner? And now I'm going to lay this in here so that it looks where I want it to be. I'm going to press in place to just grab those leaves. And now I can flip the whole thing over. I can come in with my glue, especially on these leaves here. Just come in with some glue. And by the way, this is another great holder from the Country Hive. Their Magic Edition. And it's round, so it's perfect for this holder. So I've got my glue on there. I'm going to go ahead and add seal here just because that's what I've been using. And I'm going to add that. Oh, I forgot to add something else. I forgot to add, and so I put a little bit of adhesive here. I forgot to also add my two little ribbons, and I've trimmed them so that I have angle cuts on each of them coming out like that. See that? Isn't that fun? And then you can put more adhesive across that. And that I would use seal adhesive on, or a dry tape runner type adhesive. I'm centering my hexagon so that this division here is going right through the middle of it because I think it looks nice that way. And I forgot something. This is why you do it in mass steps, like mass producing steps, right? So if I was smart and not making my full card all at once, I would have remembered that at this point, I want to slip this underneath here. So again, glue on just the back side of the little leaves, and I'll tuck that, and I'll have that coming out from the bottom. And that's how I got 2 die cuts from 1 die cut. That's how I got multiple layers with only little strips. Paper saving techniques galore, right? So again, here are the thank you cards that I've done with 6 of the designer papers so far. So I'm looking forward to using all 12 of the designs, but yay. And yeah, so I hope that helped. I'm going to announce past prize winners as you're taking a peek at all these cards. Again, we had some prize winners that were supposed to be drawn on Wednesday's live, and I just went right through the whole live and completely forgot to announce them. So I'm going to pull them up really quick. And in fact, I'm going to call out names of other past prize winners who need to claim their prizes or they're going to go back into the bin. Okay, so we have winners from last week. During the live, Trisha did announce, after I went off the live, she announced Sue Menifee and Donna Weller. You are prize winners, and you won a blending brush and a pack of embellishments. And then Carla Nicholas, you were my after live winner, Carla Nicholas 4711, and you get a tutorial of your choice from the video before. Hang on a minute. Sorry, nose is running. And then we had past prize winners who I've called out before, but you haven't claimed your prizes yet. Vay S 7958, Dolores Ram 16539, Linda Morris 157, and Helene Knight. You guys all are prize winners from the past, but your prizes are not going to be on my shelf for too long. So start getting back to me soon. And my email address, sorry, I should put that up there, is, oh, and I disappeared. Hang on. Let me come back in here. Oh, fun, fun, fun. Fun buttons. There we go. So there is the, I think my email address tab doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Anyways, there's the email address so you can reach out to me, get a hold of me. Fold the ribbon. I could, Marcia, except it turns out that it was the same amount of ribbon. Marcia was suggesting folding the ribbon and saving. But I ended up using the same amount of ribbon whether I folded or not, and it became a little bulkier because of the fold in there. So I cut it in half. But it might save time. So you could take that 3-inch, fold it, stick it on. It might cause a little bit of extra bulk just because of the fold. That's it. But that's a good tip. Love that there's no bulk. Thank you, Christine. Okay, mass production. It's an art, right? I mean, we need to learn these little tips and tricks so that when we are doing mass loads of cards all at once, it's and see now, yeah. I don't know why I can't get those things to disappear, but I really need to look at my program because my images aren't working the way I want them to, and they haven't been doing that for like a whole month. But I've been sick. I have an excuse. New products. Remember, new products released on May 6th in the online exclusives area of the store. And, oh, that one worked. Okay. And in the catalog as well, which you can find online. So the new annual catalog released on May 6th. I'm grabbing it for you so you can see the front cover. This is also downloadable, so you can go to my website, you can click on the shop tab, go to catalogs, and you can see the catalogs listed there, and then just click on the downloadable link so that you can view the whole catalog online. Anything else that I want to announce? We have a new starter kit special, so if you are interested in getting lots of product, let's say your wish list is $165 worth of product, you can get up to $165 for $99 by purchasing it all through a starter kit. A starter kit gets you in on the demonstrator side of things so that you can get discounts on your future purchases. You don't have to do what I do. You don't have to do what lots of demonstrators do where they sell or whatever. That's totally fine. You can be in it for the discount. Over 90% of the people that get the starter kit get it so that they can be discount shoppers, and do not feel ashamed of that. It's totally fine. When you are done with your purchases, because there's a required 300 every quarter, but if you can't make that one quarter, it's totally fine. You just get dropped as a demonstrator. You go back to doing what you're doing now. There's no penalty or fee or anything like that. The upcoming lives that I have are next Wednesday. Wednesday, oh my gosh, you guys, we are going to do some notes and totes cards. I have gone crazy with this bundle, And I have a Z-fold card. I have a simple but really pretty card here. And then I have one that's really detailed with lots of dies on it. It's super fun. So I'm going to have lots of the pieces cut and ready to go ahead of time. Excuse me. This is not a video that I would say is totally for a beginner because it's 3 different cards and I'm going to go super fast in it. The cards are have lots of details in them, lots of new products. I'm using the resist paper in there. I'm using the new washi tape that coordinates with that die. We're going to pull out lots of fun tips and tricks with new products. So I hope that you come to join me on that live Wednesday at 11 a.m. And then, and normally I would have my paper pumpkin kit by then, but I am trying to de-stress a little bit. And summer is here and I don't have a lot of time to do as many posts as I normally do during the winter months. So we're going to do Paper Pumpkin the week after instead. And I'm going to post all my public alternatives on the 28th of May instead of trying to rush to get one set done right away and then do another set later. I'm just going to do them all at once. So you'll have to wait a little bit longer, but you'll get all my ideas all at once on the 28th, which is the following Wednesday. In between, I do have one other live, and that is going to be on Friday the 23rd. And we're going to go through the Beautiful Blues kit. We're going to do some fun stuff with this kit, the Beautiful Blues, okay? And I'm going to show you how to almost triple the cards that you can get from that kit and still have stunning looking cards. So I hope you come back for all of those. And then we have a member only live. So if you are a member of my YouTube channel, you get a special live each month towards the end of the month. And that one is on Friday, May 30th. I haven't planned, I mean, I have something in my head, but I haven't created yet, I should say. So I hope you come back for that if you are a YouTube member. Any questions that you have, hopefully you have posted them in this live chat and we've answered them. If we haven't yet, can you please put your question in there right now? And I will look before I get off the live so I can answer any questions that I did not answer. Also, if you have a question for like how to become a member, there's a link in my video description so that you can become a member of my channel. Being a subscriber and a member, they're 2 different things. A subscriber is totally free. Anybody can be a subscriber to anyone's YouTube channel, and it just allows you to set notifications so that you can get emails when I'm going to go live. You get, basically you have the ability to find out more about my channel because it will show up in your thread when you're on YouTube and that sort of thing. So being a subscriber is a great thing, but if you want to go a little step further, you can be a member and get those extra perks. Thank you for the comments about the hair. It's a different look. This is one that I have a hard time adjusting to, but I used to color my hair really light, like a light blonde. So to me, this is my fun summer color, but I'm really kind of like these little wings here are bugging me. So I have to figure out how to tame this wig, but it's a fun one. Thank you for the compliment there, Jeannie. And I'm looking for questions and not seeing any questions. Thank you to my members. By the way, when you see my members' comments during the lives, they are standing out because they have the little rhinestone next to their name. So, and the longer they've been a member, the bigger the rhinestone gets. So I love it. Marcia even posted the emoji with the 3 rhinestones in it because they have special emojis too that they get to use. Right, Vicki? With the butterflies? I love it. You guys are great. I'm just postponing a little bit longer, seeing if we had any questions that I did not get answered, but I hope that I have answered them all. Again, post away if I didn't get to your question. And I'm looking through to see if there's anything that I forgot to mention, but I think we're good. So I will let you guys go if that's it, if that's all that we have. Cold is going to go away. I promise, you guys. Craziness. Oh, the thumbs up. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. A little reminder, thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. No questions. It's good. That must mean that I did a good job explaining things as we went. Okay. Yes, Marcia says, by the way, you could get, normally you can't get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the starter kit, but you could this month. So if you don't want to pay, full price for that Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, get it within the May starter kit because you get up to $165. Good point. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Thank you. I am feeling great. It's just all in my head. It's just crazy, right? All right. No questions. So I'm going to let you go. Thanks everyone for joining me. I appreciate all of my viewers on this extra day. The extra day is especially on a Saturday morning, you guys. Take care, and we will see you the next time. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.